Whenever my Amish have weddings, they always have pudding for their dessert, and they always have one of two puddings. The one is tapioca pudding and the other is date pudding. Now today we're going to make that date pudding and we need pitted dates, so I'm going to take all the pits out of my dates. Now once you have your dates all pitted, we need to chop them up. Just chop them as fine as you can. Now once you have your dates chopped, we're going to take them out of the chopper and just put them in a small container. You want this to be glass or stainless. We're going to put some baking soda over them and we're going to pour boiling water over them. Now we just let this set until it's cooled off. And you can also do this the night before and put it in the fridge overnight. Now once the dates and water mixture is all cooled down, we're going to pour it into our mixing bowl. And we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients. We have a little bit of butter, 1 beaten egg, add some salt, some sugar, and some flour. And we're just going to beat everything together until it's well mixed. Once you have it all mixed together, pour it into a 9-inch square pan. And you don't have to grease your cake pans if you just make them wet with a little bit of water. Make sure it's evenly spread out to the edges. Then we're going to go stick this in the oven and bake it. Now while that is baking, we're going to make a caramel sauce and we're going to start off by lightly browning some butter. Now once your butter is very lightly browned, we're going to add some brown sugar. Then we're also going to add some whipping cream. Whisk that together, then we're going to let it come to a boil and boil for a little bit. Once that's done boiling, we're going to add some milk in there. Just whisk it in. Then we're going to let this heat up to almost boiling point. And while it's heating up, we're going to make a paste with some flour and gradually whisk in a little bit more milk. Now once your caramel mixture almost comes to a boil, we're going to whisk that paste in. And you cannot let that come to a complete boil because if you do, it will curdle. And we're going to keep this on the heat and keep whisking it until it turns thick and starts boiling. It is okay to let it boil after the paste is in. Once that has come to a boil, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. Just whisk that in. Then your caramel sauce is done and you have to let it cool off. Once your date cake is done baking, you need to let that one cool off too. Alright, our cake is cold. It has been cold for several days because I made this a couple days ago and I'm just now finishing it. And that is perfectly normal if you're growing up Amish and making this for a wedding. Now we're going to cut the cake into little cubes. And if you do wait a couple days, just make sure you refrigerate the caramel sauce. Now I'm going to take my spatula and take these cubes out of the cake pan. And I'm going to take my spatula and slice them through this way too. Just so it's more of a cube and not a rectangle or a stick. And if you don't want to do that, just bake your date cake in a bigger pan so the cake does not get as thick. Now once you have your cake all cut up, you're going to need whipped topping or whipped cream. I'm just going to make myself some really quick. And I'm only making enough for myself for one serving right now. Now we just take all 3 of these things and we put them on layers. I'm going to do the cake at the bottom and you can do as many layers as you want. Then we're going to do some of the caramel sauce and do whipped cream or whipped topping on top of that. And I'm going to do one more just to fill up the bowl. And here it is. It looks beautiful. This is like 2 servings, but who's to say I can't eat it all? Let's take our bite and see if it's good. Oh my gosh. So delicious. I haven't had this since I was last at an Amish wedding, which was about 4 years ago now. This is so delicious. It would also be perfect for parties or something. This full recipe is in my Amish cookbook under date pudding, and the cookbook is only available on my website. The website is called socialsbylavina.com on my profile. Enjoy!